Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you have been here before, or welcome if it is your first time visiting. Today I'm going to be taking a psychic look at the Ashley Benefield trial, or case as it were. Now this trial is currently going on in Florida, and it has been dubbed the Black Swan M trial because Ashley Benefield is a dancer, or was a ballet dancer. And if you aren't familiar with this case, I urge you to take a look around YouTube. There are a lot of channels covering this ongoing trial, and you can find out a great deal about it. I'm going to have to keep this short and sweet because this particular case is one that subject matter is extremely sensitive, and YouTube is being very particular about the wording and phrases that it is allowing to come through. In a nutshell, Ashley Benefield is standing trial for the fatal unaliving of her husband, her former husband, Douglas Benefield. Now, Ashley admits to having done the deed. However, she claims that she did so in self-defense and that there was abuse happening within the relationship and that she was frightened for her life. However, the prosecution begs to differ, and they feel as though Ashley's motivations for having committed this crime were different. So that is the crux of this case, guys. Now, I personally have not formed an opinion about this one. I haven't watched all that much about it or heard that much about it for that matter. So with that said, I'm going to be going up to my reading space with a clean palette. I'm going to try to keep the specific details of this one basically more unspoken because YouTube's sensitive algorithm will throw this video into something that you won't be able to find or watch. Also, please take care when watching this video or any others on this situation if you are especially triggered by this topic, this subject matter, okay? Please guard yourself and your mental health and your well-being. Okay, but before we get rolling, I'd like to invite you to take a moment now and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Give this video a thumbs up. It'll help it get seen by more people. It will help to support this channel and my efforts. Okay, my friends, so without further ado, let's get this reading started. Please be advised that the information contained within this video is based on personal opinion and interpretation of tarot card messages delivered via my guides. This video is for educational purposes only and should not be considered facts proven in a court of law. Thank you. Okay, friends, for this reading, I'm going to be working with the Wild Reflections Tarot deck and the Crime Scene Oracle deck. And I've modified the name of this deck because of YouTube's sensitive system with words and certain phrases. So anyway, these are the two decks I'm going to be working with to get an idea of what is happening behind the scenes with Miss Benefield and what happened on the evening that her husband passed away. All right, so I'm being told to first shuffle the crime scene deck and see what kind of cards want to come out for this. I've had two come out right out of the gate. I'll put them here for the moment. And I'm going to set these aside temporarily and grab some of these tarot cards. Okay, we can start with that because there were about 5 that dropped, it looks like. Yeah. Let's take a look at the cards that have come out. The Nine of Swords, super interesting first depiction here because you've got this dark-haired woman. Wow, guys. And she's in despair. She's covering her face with her hands. I have seen some photos of Ashley, and this definitely represents her energy with her covering her face. And the Knight of Swords, just talking about that very depleted energy from an emotional standpoint. This is depression, this is anxiety, this is doubt, this is fear, this is all of those mental woes that people suffer when things have become just way too much for them to bear. And this is coming in around Ashley's energy at this moment in time. And I find that just really, really intriguing, that this almost would appear to be her with that dark long hair. Not super dark, you see that like brownish long hair. And she's losing sleep at this moment. She's definitely losing sleep over the circumstances right now that she's going through with this trial and so forth. Okay, very, very intriguing energy behind that first card. There was a time in Ashley's life that Douglas was the king of her heart. This romance for Ashley, that of her and Douglas, was one that at some point in time Ashley saw as royal. She believed that this relationship, and I am hearing obviously in past tense, she believed that this relationship with Douglas was one that would take her places. She would reach higher heights with him, is what I'm hearing. We have this male, and he is very intriguing because looking at his features here, I believe that Douglas did have this sort of facial hair, and not that he was necessarily as gray as this gentleman, but like really, these two cards to me, guys, if they don't look sort of like Ashley and Douglas, it's so wild. It's so wild. And it's definitely putting me off balance as I'm seeing Douglas being off balance here. So I'm hearing that this King of Cups energy shifted fairly quickly for Ashley. This was an immediate thought that came up in her heart space around Douglas. But it shifted, and you can see how he's leaning back. I feel as though there was something, and look, he's like in shape, right? I know I'm jumping a bit here, guys, but I do believe I've heard that Douglas Benefield was in good shape, good physical form, but he was older. He was her senior by something like 30 years, and that is reflective in these two cards. Wow. And we have him by this ocean, and I think that they did spend some time together at the shore. But there was a time when, like I said, she thought of him in this way, in this royal way, but I'm hearing that shifted and the tides changed. And right now, I know I'm not necessarily in Doug's energy, but right now I'm hearing that there's a lot that he wants to say about what happened on the evening of his passing, because he has this shell, this large shell at his mouth, and it's almost as though he's blowing into it with all of his might. So two energies here for me with Douglas. I'm hearing that he was someone who wanted to be heard. He had a lot that he wanted to say, and he wanted to be heard. And I just heard he wanted to be obeyed. Wow. He wanted to be obeyed. That's an interesting message. But I'm also hearing that at this moment in time, he is feeling as though he is not being heard. So the messages here, I'm getting like this duality. I'm getting this duality around Ashley and also around Douglas, because I am hearing that he had this very loud presence in her life and in the lives of others, and that he wanted people to listen to him. But I'm also hearing that right now he is feeling as though he is not being heard, and his story is not being told the way he wants it to be told. Make of that what you will. And again, with Ashley, that duality where she is suffering emotionally right now. There's a lot of despair in her energy, around this trial, around this situation. But there's also something that she is hiding, that Ashley is not willing to put out there into the public. And she wants to keep that very much guarded. Okay, she's wanting to keep whatever that is guarded. Okay, now we have the Chariot. So this movement, guys, and I want to connect that here with this card that says the Killer was just passing through the area. And I'm getting a different connotation of this card, a different message, but it connects up with the Chariot because there was this intense movement I'm hearing toward the end of this relationship. And this was movement on Ashley's part away from this relationship. She was like, let's go. I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to get out of here. So what I am hearing is that once Ashley actually made the decision to leave her husband, and I am hearing that this decision was made early on. Okay. This is the 7th card in the Major Arcana. So this decision may have come somewhere around the 7th month in their relationship. It could have been that early on, guys. But I'm hearing that Ashley was getting nudged. She was feeling a universal nudge to move beyond this relationship. Okay, so this card, which to me, I see a female energy here with her bags packed, ready to move along, just passing through. And what I'm hearing is that Ashley's energy early on into their marriage. Look at the difference here. We've got the white horse and the black horse. This was like two sides of the same coin. Again, speaking to that duality in Ashley's energy. But very early on, she realized that this was just not meant to be a permanent situation for her. That this relationship was one that was going to be something she was passing through, a phase, so to speak, in her life. And so even though Ashley knew this, she knew this early on, she was still grappling with two parts of herself. This energy of needing to get going, but also not realizing exactly how to facilitate this move, okay, is what I'm hearing. She wanted to break free, but she didn't know exactly how to pull that off. But this decision to leave, to end this relationship, came very early on. Okay, that is what I'm hearing with the Chariot and the just passing through card here. I'm going to move down here to the Fool card, the first card in the Fool's journey, the tarot journey. And again, we have this female that, to me, just has that whole same energy, that look, that depiction of Ashley, right? Almost in this pose, this dancer's pose. This is crazy to me, guys. Crazy. Because look at this. Look at how this is coming out, okay? Once Ashley realized that this was not going to be a permanent relationship for her, and she made that decision to move on, I'm hearing that she embraced this decision. This was one that she was, I'm almost hearing, looking forward to. She wanted this split to bring more positivity into her life. But we've got this fox here, this sly fox standing beside her, standing beside this figure that is representative of Ashley's energy. And I'm hearing the sly fox, my friends, because again, I don't want to keep saying the same thing over and over, but there was two sides to Ashley, is what I'm hearing. There was the side that was truly concerned for her safety. This is what I'm hearing. There was a side, and is a side to Ashley, that believes that she was in danger. She was in danger in this relationship. But there was also a side to her, and this could still be in the present, was/is a side to her that had some other motivation besides fear that drove her away from the relationship. Because this fox is giving me a sense of, again, something being hidden, not being revealed, with that sly fox energy. So I'm hearing that as she was prepared to leave, there was more than one motive behind that decision. More than one motive. That's interesting. I don't know what the other motive is. And it's no accident, it's no coincidence that the Two of Wands comes up after the card. Now again, we have this female. She's seated here. She's sitting on what appears to be a tree stump. She's got this bicycle here beside her with a basket, almost like an old-fashioned bike. And she's got these two wands. One, she's laid down in the grass, and one is still in her hand. And I find this especially telling as well, because this sphere here, this light, almost looks like a disco ball that you would see, you know, those sparkly disco balls that you see, or that you would see years ago in the like Saturday Night Fever era, right? But this is representative of that dancing energy that Ashley encompasses. This is just confirming, validating to me that Ashley was still being torn in two directions, that she had to let go of something. And what I'm hearing here is that she had to let go of the passion that she once felt around this relationship with Douglas. She had to let that go and lay it down. And she had to face a new horizon for herself, and I believe for her child as well. But I do get this impression that there was something that was causing Ashley mental distress even early on in the early days. This card, I feel like, with the bicycle here, is her just starting out on that journey of leaving. So at this point in time, she hadn't, as of yet, made the move toward ending the relationship. She knew that she was just passing through, and she had laid down the passion that she had for Douglas. For the relationship is really what I'm hearing. And she was going to take what was left of her motivation and move on. But with her resting against this tree, I'm hearing that she wasn't racing out the door, so to speak. This was a methodical leaving. There was something that she was pondering. I am hearing that there were plans she was putting into place. Okay, plans. And before I grab some more cards here, I want to take a look at this. A closer observation of the victim's living space may provide clues. So again, I don't know whether or not there is still anything in that home, in the marital home, that would provide further clues as to what actually happened on that evening that Douglas lost his life. But that is what I'm being told through this card, that there could have potentially been something that was overlooked, is what I'm hearing. Because when I get this card after a case is already in trial, I'm hearing that evidence could have been overlooked. That is what this card always indicates to me. Okay, so I'm going to move these out of the way and get a few more cards to come out here. Okay, guys. All right. Okay. Let's do it this way, guys. So the Nine of Wands here. Okay. The Hanged Man. Strength and the Ace of Cups. Okay. Because I think now we're moving into energy that is more current for the situation. And I am being told one more pull for the crime scene cards as well. The Nine of Wands and the Hanged Man coming up both in Douglas's energy. Douglas had huge passion around Ashley. Passion that he was not prepared to let go of. He wanted to hold on to this at any cost. But we have this figure here, and I find it very intriguing that it is coming up almost in the same prone position that Ashley was in this card here with the Two of Wands. Now we've got the Nine of Wands. So this is confirming to me that Ashley's passion for Douglas did not mirror that he had for her. Okay, he was so engaged in this relationship and his passion for Ashley that he was not prepared to let go of this at all. He wanted to hang on to this relationship with all of his might. He did not want to let go. He did not want to sit and rest, even though I'm hearing she was forcing him into that position of moving beyond the relationship. I'm hearing he did not want to move beyond the relationship. And he was hung up. He was 100% hung up in his feelings. He was tangled. He was definitely hung up and tangled in his feelings about the relationship, about Ashley, about what he wanted to see for them and for their family. I'm hearing that he did not want to let her go. He wanted to keep her for himself, is what I'm hearing. And with this card, I'm getting Ashley needed to do what she needed to do to tame the beast. That is what I'm hearing around this card. This is the 8th card. The 8th card in the Major Arcana. Okay, because we had the Chariot, her decision to leave, that she knew she had to go. And she also knew early on that she was going to have to do something to tame this beast. She was going to have to dredge up all the strength and power that she had to do what she needed to do to tame the beast. That is what I'm hearing. I'm going to leave it there for you. You can draw your own conclusions with this card. But here, with the Ace of Cups, this is a new opportunity for love. This is a new opportunity in Ashley's heart space. And I am hearing that this is something that was a motivating factor for her. So either there was a new person that was in her mind and heart, or she was wanting a new person. She had already moved beyond her feelings for Douglas and was looking for someone new, or there could have already been someone new in her life, is what I'm hearing. And that was part of the motivation for ending the relationship. Okay. I'm going to do one more pull here with the crime scene cards. Whoa. Okay. Those came jumping right out. So let's see. Okay. So we have a witness may not be fully disclosing all of the facts. Yeah, with the A for Ashley. And she, I believe, has come up as a witness in her own defense case. Not fully disclosing all of the facts, guys. We got the appearance here of someone hiding behind a book in this case. Hiding her face in that case. The big A for Ashley. Yeah, I'm getting that she's not fully disclosing all of the facts of what happened on the evening that Douglas lost his life. She is not giving us all the facts, guys. Okay? She's not being fully and completely honest. And the victim, Douglas, engaged in unusual behavior prior to the crime. And we've got these two masks here. One with a downturned mouth looking sad or mad, and one with this happier face. And yes, I do feel as though Douglas wore two different masks. I do feel as though there was a part of him that wanted to show the world that he was this great guy, that he was someone that could be trusted and loved and was worthy of this relationship. But there was also a side of Douglas that was difficult, that was argumentative, that was disruptive, is what I'm hearing. I am hearing that there was something in him with respect to anger, having an anger issue. And this was something that he very much did not want to be connected with. He did not want that part of himself to be shown. And I do feel as though this is mirrored here in this card as well. Okay, friends, I'm going to ask the Wild Reflections for one more pull to see if we can't hone in on exactly or get a closer idea of whether or not Ashley felt threatened, if she felt her life was in danger when she did what she did that evening. Was it a life-threatening circumstance in her opinion? Did she truly feel threatened? Did she truly feel as though Douglas was going to harm her fatally? And that is why she did what she did. We had one card come out. And we have the Four of Wands. Wow. Okay. And we've got 4 females here, and they appear to be dancing. The Four of Wands. Ashley looking for stability. Ashley looking for, I call this the tent poles. Ashley feeling as though she needed to have balance and stability in her life. What I'm hearing and what I've heard is that Ashley's motivations were fourfold. There was fear. She wanted freedom. Freedom and fear, I'm hearing, were 2 of her motivations. She wanted to move beyond this relationship in the worst way. There was some legitimate fear around what was going to happen that night. But I'm not necessarily hearing that she felt threatened, but there was fear of something not going a certain way for her, is what I'm hearing. So what I want to say is that she did feel trapped. There was a feeling of being trapped. So I'm getting fear and trapped, wanting freedom and wanting to move away and get stability in her life. So these 4 emotions is what Ashley was feeling that evening when Douglas was at the home with her. She wanted to be free. She wanted that sense of movement again, because for a dancer, I'm hearing that she felt stunted and stuck. She felt as though she could not move. She could not get beyond his power and his control. There was a sense of fear. There was fear. But I don't know, guys. From what I'm seeing here, I don't know 100% if she felt as if her life was being threatened in those moments prior to having pulled that trigger. I truly believe that her motivations were fourfold, and that there was a lot going on for her because so much had happened in the past, so that she was almost dredging all of that up that evening. And her need for stability, to be on solid ground so that she could move and walk away from him, was something that was huge, that was going on in her mind at that moment. She knew that whatever was going to happen was necessary for her to move on with her life and to gain her footing and her balance. But I find it very interesting that if you look at the feet of all of these figures, they're all on their toes, as a ballerina would be. So what I'm hearing is that probably the biggest motivation for her was that she wanted to move on. She wanted to move on. And she did not know how to accomplish this in the way that she felt it needed to be done so that the doors would be closed forever. That is what I'm hearing, my friends. Douglas had issues. He had issues with anger, impulse control issues is what I'm hearing. Douglas wanted to keep Ashley. He wanted to keep the relationship. He wanted to very much be a family with Ashley and their daughter. But with his stance that he took, with his stance of not wanting to let go, with this hung up energy, this, I'm hearing, forced Ashley's hand, because she was feeling as though she was going to be embroiled in a constant battle with him, and she could not move away from that battle, she felt. She was not able to move beyond this battle in a way that she felt was going to offer her this freedom that she so desperately wanted. And I do feel a certain amount of fear around this situation for her, okay? But in that immediate, I'm not necessarily feeling that she was afraid for her life. But I am not negating that there was a power dynamic that had gone on very early on in their relationship that was wrong. I am hearing that Ashley was uncomfortable. She felt as though Douglas was very unpredictable in a way that his behavior was something that could have been potentially harmful for her. So again, I'm not going to pass judgment one way or the other here. I want you to derive what you will from these cards. But a takeaway for me is that Ashley is still not ready, willing, and able to fully disclose all the facts that went into what happened the night that Douglas Benefield lost his life. My friends, I want to thank you so much for watching this video and invite you to stay close. I may do a follow-up on this reading, so I hope that I will find you here when I return. Friends, if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to this channel, give this video a thumbs up, and make sure you have that notification bell clicked and set to all so you don't miss anything that is coming up ahead on the channel. I truly appreciate each and every one of you.